Okay. Hello and good evening, all my lovely, lovely guests. And Modwain's lovely guests, including me. And Paulo is our lovely guest today.
Yes.
He raised this topic and is the only one of us informed. So he should win. Whatever the disagreements are, Paulo should win by a landslide.
It's not a racist topic.
What?
Yeah, you said he raised his topic.
Raised.
I did.
Oh, sorry. Well done, Modway. He got me.
Sorry, silly.
Yeah, talking about puns, you will notice the cover which forms the backdrop.
And everybody in the chat is adding to the humor.
Good.
Good.
Okay, so would you like to start?
Yes.
Paulo?
So this week, the Portuguese Parliament had a vote to start developing legislation to either decriminalize or legalize euthanasia. And I thought we were going to be one of the last ones to do it, but apparently there are very few countries in Europe where euthanasia is legal. And given that, an honorable death, let's call it, should be something to strive for in our society, where we have freedom of choice. It's still quite surprising to hold that when we consider the sanctity of life in most of our constitutions, the quality of life is not considered a part of the sanctity of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which means the governments are not going to let you die, even if it's causing you great pain. Which, when I think about it, it's probably something that should be raised in the European courts, and maybe the governments should be accused of torture by not allowing terminal patients who are either in a going into a degenerative state or in constant pain, the choice to end their lives.
Yeah.
And I think that everybody in here is ANCAP enough to agree that euthanasia as a personal choice is desirable from a legal point of view. But
yeah, there is something that I want to add in here. I mean, I understand what you're saying and I agree. But, and I never thought this would be the case with euthanasia, because in the Netherlands, we accepted it some time ago. But even within euthanasia, there is a slippery slope. And this is what we're seeing in the Netherlands. They are now, for example, talking about euthanasia because of psychological suffering.
Yeah.
And I mean, to compare someone who is very depressed to someone who's eaten up alive by cancer, to me, that's the utmost stupid thing. I mean, I can understand euthanasia for people who are slowly being eaten alive.
Yes, and that's part of the whole disagreements that have been part of the discussion in a public forum. So we've had five law bills introduced in Parliament, and all of them have been approved. Now all of them need to be turned into proper legislations. So far, this is just to introduce the topic in Parliament, and now it's only now that it's been approved that they're going to argue all the specifics. But the way it's been framed in the Portuguese society, there's been a lot of scaremongering, and instead of framing it from the point of view of the individual who wants to have a pain-free death and who knows he's going to die and wants to have a death in his own terms, it's being sold to the public by detractors as an excuse to bump off old people just to prevent them from being a pain in the ass. And it's not only the Catholic Church that's pushing for it. There are two political parties that are completely against it. There's one where they don't know if they're for it or against it, and it has a problem with the personal philosophies of their current leader. But that's how it's being framed, and we've had protesters in front of Parliament holding up signs with pictures of old people, of the elderly, saying, "Please don't kill us." Nobody is arguing
to kill others. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they did the same. They did the same in the Netherlands, and that's. You see, the thing is, I was talking a moment ago about the slippery slope thing and how I'm not okay with that. I'm also not okay with Project Fear, and this is what we're talking about. I mean, you have Project Fear in everything, and when it comes to euthanasia, oh well, no, there will be death panels. They actually set death panels in American comedy shows, like the Late Show and stuff like that. And I'm like, there are no death panels. It's not like government is deciding that you are okay for a euthanasia, so we're going to euthanize you. No, you have to ask for it. And what we've noticed in the Netherlands at first, most of the euthanasia requests were actually rejected.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, once you actually have a culture of euthanasia, you can create a living will that says, under these circumstances, say brain damage after an accident, or dementia, or you know what I mean, things that have reduced your quality of life to the point where if you're an animal, we just put you down without question. Then you could say, that's what I want to happen to me. Don't leave me on life support as a vegetable.
Yeah, well, and the worst part is, for example, in the Netherlands, at first, because they started doing that right from the get-go. Mm-hmm. And those last living will and testimonies were rejected because you couldn't know what it was like. Therefore, you couldn't have made an informed choice. Therefore, and now you're too damaged, so now you can't make an informed choice. Well, this is what actually happened. That was really weird.
This is why we have to reform the judiciary, because fuck them.
Mm.
Yeah. That's probably something that's going to have to be argued when they're building up the legislation. But the primary focus needs to be on people who are sound of mind, but with a feeble body that they know they can never recover full mobility.
Well, the thing is, right. So my dad's got dementia, right, and my mother laments not being able to take him off to Switzerland and kill him, and she says because he's never expressed that wish. But in her case, right, she says if I ever got like that, that's what I would like done. So she, of sound mind now, is expressing that intent in relation to her being in his condition. Mm-hmm. And you can only do that in advance. You can only express your wish in advance. That if you deteriorate, you don't want to be left alive with a poor quality of life. And it's obscene to me that a judge thinks they know better than you what you want.
Yeah, it's really weird because I'm curious. Not that Portugal now accepts the option of euthanasia, but I'm curious how it's going to develop. Because as I said, if I look at it as it is in the Netherlands, at first, I mean, you couldn't really put it in a will that you wanted to euthanize yourself because that wasn't taken serious. I think that changed slightly, but now they're actually talking about you can be considered for euthanasia for cruel and unjust suffering for psychological ailments.
That would be very, very hard to diagnose as terminal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. But then again, officially speaking, I mean, I don't think the Netherlands still has this, but there are countries, Western world countries, where committing suicide is actually illegal.
Yes, in Portugal it is illegal.
Yeah.
But that's a legacy of Catholicism, where
Yes.
suicide was a deadly sin.
Hmm.
So yeah, and the point I bring up often is this: we have the Christian tradition of suicide being a sin. You then have the Japanese tradition, until very, very recently, it's starting to change, but the Japanese tradition, and it was the tradition in ancient Rome, that suicide was noble.
Well, it's the last way to redeem your honor.
No, yeah, but it was a noble act, which is
Yeah.
in
And
fact opposite.
Japan is one of
Sorry?
Japan is one of the countries where euthanasia is fully legal.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, but suicide was considered a moral act, not an immoral act. So my point being is that it's actually it was diametrically opposed to the.
Yeah, and funny enough, this actually caused for a shift in suicide numbers. People are, funny enough, in a system like that, less likely to commit suicide.
Yeah, but the point is merely to. It's a great example of the absolute relativity of morality. Because everyone said, "Oh, morality is fixed," or that, and it's like, no, you could just point at something as simple as this and say, "Look, you've got two cultures existing at the same time, one where it's terrible and one where it's laudable," and it's like, this just proves that you have a subject on which morality is utterly subjective. And it's like, I'm not arguing one way or the other. I'm merely pointing this out. Because people tend to focus on, say, the Western attitude and treat that as the only one. And it's like, well, no.
Well, the shift here in the West that authorities seem to have a trouble grasping is that quality of life is tied to health, and if you're not healthy enough to be able to enjoy life in any way, then you're basically dead.
Yeah.
And that is the situation with people who are immobile or
my dad with his dementia, because he just sits around all day. He's never happy. He never does anything. He's just a bird
waiting.
Yeah, and he's expressed his unhappiness at that, just not in the sense of, so I wish I was dead, and it's like, so you wouldn't take him off and kill him.
I suppose he wouldn't be able to be eligible for to request euthanasia.
Well, he's got dementia, so it's very hard to say, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I mean, the point is, he's 91.
Right.
And this is the problem with an aging population, with increasing dementia and increasing Alzheimer's and increasing whatever. It becomes an issue.
Right. Yeah. The majority of the elderly will be having degenerative neurological diseases, which will prevent them from giving informed consent.
Yeah, but also
from a legal point of view.
But also leading them to finish their days in a much less happy state than the rest of their life before it. Unless you're a miserable git like me, in which case the whole of your life was
Right. One of the problems that we're going to encounter while building the legislation is that the medical bar has been completely against the establishment of euthanasia with a legal framework, and so far it seems that the medical bar will not allow the doctors to perform euthanasia, even if it's legal, as it would be considered a violation of the Hippocratic Oath.
Well, I can understand that, funny enough.
Yeah, but I've also heard people say, "Oh, but the Hippocratic Oath isn't a thing in medicine anymore." So it's like, oh, well.
No, it still is. It still is. They still. I mean, I can't say for the UK obviously, but in the Netherlands, doctors still take the Hippocratic Oath on graduation as a basic doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're a basic doctor, you're still nothing because then you need to specialize in something.
Here's the thing. Okay, and this is where it gets very complicated because, as far as I understand it, the Hippocratic Oath basically says you won't do any harm.
Yeah, you won't do harm.
But protracting a life of misery is doing harm.
Yeah. The
it
thing
depends
that
though, because sorry, go on. I'm sorry.
No, just clarifying one thing is that one of the main bones of contention from the doctors is that we don't have enough palliative care, developed palliative care to take care of people with degenerative diseases, and even without providing that palliative care, we are already jumping ahead to killing the patient, and they would like to have more palliative care available.
Well, okay, so my wife died of cancer 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how she died? They literally dehydrated her to death.
Yeah, that's what happens a lot. And you can ask yourself whether that's so much better.
No, but the point is they had already made the decision she was going to die.
Yeah.
But rather than give her an injection, they let her spend several days dying of dehydration.
In agony. Well,
I know she wasn't in agony. Something... She was drugged out of her mind. But that's not the point. The point is, it's not the failure to expect to have decided she was going to die because she stopped receiving anything, any food, any liquids whatsoever. She was dying. That was a given. They made that decision. So they can't then say, "Oh well, we're not going to decide to kill someone." They did decide.
No, this is what's happened a lot in the Netherlands as well. But officially, that's not euthanasia.
No, but my point is, I'm sorry. As a, ethically, I see that as worse than saying, okay, at this point, you're going to die. Let's just get it over with cleanly and as comfortably as possible.
Well, no, I understand what you mean. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a difficult topic, I guess.
Yeah, it's always complex. But the point is you have to be able to have the discussion and not just simply say, "Oh, we're not going to do it no matter what," which is what Paulo was saying the Portuguese doctor's position was.
Yeah, we'll eventually have some other problems down the line. The nurses are also complaining, although given that the nurses are usually rally behind their union, I think it's more of a play to have some way to not be held responsible for anything they do, and probably push for a few amendments in salaries.
That is, to be honest, the bog standard medical position now.
Mm-hmm.
To not be responsible for anything.
Yeah. We here when we have strikes in the healthcare system, it's usually not the doctors; it's the nurses who completely stop everything in clinics and hospitals. So the whatever they want is more about it will have nothing to do with the actual argument, and it's more about what they hope to get out of it. The doctors' positions will have to be studied, and the doctors will have to be taken into account while the legislation is being drawn. That is for sure. And I hope that that it also needs to be done in public hospitals, because if insurance companies get involved, who knows what they're going to push for, because for insurance companies it will always be preferable to kill the patient as quickly as possible instead of providing palliative cares.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I mean, there is no doubt it's a very, very complex issue.
Hmm.
And as with all issues, in my opinion, right? So you take any social issue, you've got your clear-cut cases, and you can make a good case for, oh, in this circumstance, yes, of course it's right to let them die. And then in this case, of course it's not right to let them die. It's the boundary.
Hmm.
All problems exist at the boundary, the ambiguous case. Did the, as has been brought up, sorry, I forget who did it in the chat, about the, knocking off your parents for the inheritance. It's like, or some other relative, don't have to be a parent, for the inheritance. It's like any situation will be exploited by people of bad intent.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Which is
But
why it needs to be done mainly with it needs to be initiated by the patient himself, and they need to make sure that there will be no interference from relatives or other third parties. And quite frankly, I see this as being more beneficial to people in their 30s, 40s, 50s who are who have degenerative diseases, usually something involving the motor neurons, who will want to die quickly and painlessly. The than having it for the elderly. I think that this will not be something that will affect the elderly that much if the law is well constructed.
Well, do you remember the film Logan's Run?
Yes.
And then they turned it into a TV series. Though
yeah,
the film, it was 21, which was a little bit on the
The film was 30. The
exaggerate.
book is 21.
Oh, the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found the book a few years
No,
a few years
I
ago.
did read the
Uh,
book. I knew
it's
one of
actually
them was
much.
21, which seemed a little
Yeah.
extreme. But the TV series, they had a TV series on it as well. But the point was,
Mhm.
is the basic concept was simple. Society cannot sustain supporting old people,
Mhm.
even if they took it to a slight extreme of people still in the fullness of health. And
There were other social considerations. The the world of Logan's Run had a highly active young population that was highly active in politics and social issues, and they were able to organize themselves into taking power and declaring older people responsible for all the ills in the world.
kind of what's happening now in the environmental
except
movement.
Yes, that
except the
our youth is
shadowy
too much of a
council.
selectivist.
No, except that the shadowy council were old people.
Hmm.
Because
That was in the TV series.
in the
That was in the
book,
TV. They weren't.
yeah,
No, the
because
only.
no, they didn't show them because I read the description. So in the book, they actually found the council, and the guy threw up because he'd never seen an old person, and the appearance of an old person was repulsive to him.
Mhm. I remember that the head of the the head of the runners was an apparent immortal, and that's how he was able to smuggle runners
Yeah.
to sanctuary.
No,
That
it
was that
wasn't the
was
runner. It was the head of the council of the
yeah.
underground because they were underground because there'd been like a nuclear war or something. So the surface was supposed to
No,
be
that's in the movie.
uninhabitable.
In the book they operate above ground.
Oh, did they?
There was yeah, yeah, and because they made changes for the movie. Francis, who is the Sandman that hunts Logan
Yeah.
throughout the movie, was actually the good guy in the book. He is sent to capture them, but nobody actually knows that he is the one who actually smuggles runners
Oh,
to
right,
sanctuary.
right.
And that explained in the book. I remember that part. He does not appear as old as he is, so it's implied that he's a potential immortal.
Yeah. No, actually, sorry. Ludicrous makes the point. He says, to be fair, this is a fairly new phenomenon as the world has never had this vast number of people who didn't die before getting old. Well, actually, read the early 18th century work, Gulliver's Travels. Because in Gulliver's Travels, that everyone thinks about him being a giant, right? In Lilliput with the tiny people. But that was just the first of several different adventures. And one of the adventures was a place where people didn't die. And he described it as people who just deteriorated. They didn't live forever in youth, they just didn't die. And so he actually described very well the process of what would happen if you had people just getting old and not dying, but they degenerate. And that was at the start of the 18th century. I think it's something like 1715 or something. So Jonathan Swift had great foresight. He also had a flying city. Is another one of his places.
Right. It was also the author of A Modest Proposal, wasn't he?
I've only read the one book by him, to be honest.
It was a pamphlet he distributed where he argued that the cure to the Irish famine was for parents to eat their children.
Not the Irish famine. He lived 130 years before the Irish famine.
Right. But he did. I think he was the one that proposed that in case of famine situation, poor parents should eat their children. Although he of course he wasn't serious, but nobody understood satire.
I like that. No one understood satire. They still don't.
One thing that's funny in the way that the discussion has been going on is that there hasn't been too much division in the political parties. It's been usually it's been mostly the left-wing parties who have proposed law bills. The Socialist Party, the Left Bloc, the Animal and Nature Party, the Green Party, and then the only right-wing party to introduce a bill, which was Liberal Initiative. They're the anarcho-capitalists. They have one member of parliament. And strangely enough, the leader of the Social Democrats, who in spite of their name are not Social Democrats, they're the conservatives. Their leader let each MP choose individually where they would vote. So there were a lot of votes in favor from them. It's mostly the Christian Democrats who are against it, and strangely enough, the Communist Party, but their leader is in his 80s, and he is probably convinced that they're going to be death panels, which if he were in charge, there would probably be.
Just to let you know, Paulo, I've stuck up a modest proposal to demonstrate your correctness. He wrote it in 1729.
All right. Okay, yes, that's it.
And he was, Jonathan Swift was a pastor. He was a clergyman. And he was Irish. So when he said about the Irish, he wasn't talking about a different society. He was Irish himself.
Right.
Even though he lived in England. But that sort of thing happened back then.
Right. It's not surprising that people did not understand. Even in the 18th century, it was still hard for most of the population to have access to education. So of course
it didn't exist.
Yes. Of course, the people who were most vocal in complaints were the educated elite, and of course it went over their heads as well.
Of course, yeah.
The educated elite, too smart and too
No,
educated.
to be fair, the only people who were literate and therefore liable to read Swift were the educated elite.
Yeah, educated beyond their intelligence.
Yeah, bit like so many graduates of university today.
Oh yes.
Well, yeah, it takes a special kind of education to be stupid.
No,
And we
it,
have a
it
lot of
takes the
stupid people
regular
today.
kind these days.
No. No, because the regular kind are indoctrinated, but they don't know it. They are victims. The highly educated ones are so indoctrinated that they feel they are not and start indoctrinating others.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's sickening, really.
Well, it's
I remember.
sorry, I just to say it's the evangelical zeal of the fresh convert.
Yeah. I remember in the early 90s, we didn't have private TV stations in Portugal until 1993, and the one of the new stations, TVI, they had a game show called Doctors and Engineers, which was for college students. It was a game show for college students to test their knowledge. And I was 13 or something back then, and I always had a reputation for memorizing factoids. When I was 7, my family would ask what were the capitals of strange countries, and I would always know. But I was actually quite surprised that the level of general knowledge of our college students was very, very low. I would have beaten them all at age 13 in that game show.
There was what's his name? That conservative, the guy who the apocalypse was over. Not Joe Rogan, the other one. And he used to go onto college campuses and ask them questions.
Yeah, the Canadian professor.
No. I'm talking about podcast host thingy.
What, the gay guy?
No.
What's his name?
No. There's two really big ones. There's Joe Rogan and there's a conservative one. The one that the gay guy attacked, causing the apocalypse.
Crowder.
Oh yes, yeah, Crowder. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Stephen Crowder went to American colleges and asked them questions about America. I got everyone correct, and okay, it was probably how he edited it, but none of the American students got any of them correct.
What's his name? He's also a YouTuber. I forgot his name. He used to go out on the streets and ask people random questions as well about American politics and American history, and people don't know. But
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of funny because the term oikophobia came across in my life not so long ago. Oikophobia basically means a dysphoria, a distance of your own culture. So you don't believe in your own culture. Everything bad in the world is because of your own culture. Your culture can't do anything good. Mark Dice. Thank you, Michael Keller.
Yeah, that's a good.
And thank you, Ludicrous. But yeah, no, oikophobia, and more YouTubers are now recognizing oikophobia. It's kind of funny because I didn't use the term in any of my videos in the past because I really think no one will know what you talk about. But it is something, and again, going back to Moustopia, this is something that was more or less predicted, because if we take away challenges and if we provide for everything, and all it does is create a situation where people are, if at all possible, even less inclined to live their life. And then you get to a point where, talking about euthanasia, I can understand euthanasia for physical suffering. But now we are okay with euthanasia for psychological suffering.
Does that mean we can kill all the SJWs?
Only if they ask for it themselves.
No, they are all clearly suffering psychologically.
True.
And we need putting out of their misery.
We need to convince them that their existence is white supremacy.
No. Paulo, don't even joke about white supremacists, you white supremacist. No, I mean, damn, that's slightly off topic, which we usually do, so let's do it. I even made the video about, what's her face, Tlaib.
Yeah, I know.
Congress in America. How she's talking about how she can't recognize herself on the census because she's not white. And I'm like, Arabs that came to America have been fighting for years to be considered white.
Yeah, but that's
and
before
now that they
the
are,
oppression Olympics.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
No,
and
it's like no.
If nothing else,
okay. I saw a picture today of Meghan Markle on a BBC article, and honestly, she's got straight brown, not black, straight brown hair.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't know who she was, I would not know she was half black. And yet, apparently, she was a victim of racism. But don't they tell us that if you look white, you've got white privilege?
Yeah. It doesn't make sense at all.
No, they literally formulate the argument to whatever suits the purpose. You know.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. I for the life of me, I can't understand it. And I'm like, how much more? How do you call it?
What?
How much more identity politics would you need?
Well, there will never be enough. Just as the feminists will never stop, because it's not. It's like oh god, someone put it. It might have been you even in your Tlaib video. You know, they get exactly what they want, and then that's wrong. And it's like, because they don't actually want what they're advocating for. What they advocate for is something they don't think you will give them.
It's
sorry, Paulo, we have strayed off topic.
Yeah,
we usually do.
Well, I thought that I actually wondered if we would have enough for an hour just talking about euthanasia. But
it's hard when you generally agree, because as you say, we're all sufficiently. I wouldn't call us. I'm certainly not an ANCAP, because I'm not a pro-capitalist. I have major issues with the capitalist system, which is why I consider myself to be a lefty. But I do consider myself libertarian. And yes, as a libertarian, we, you know, if we don't have. If our bodies aren't ours, which is what they're doing, that's what the bloody all these bloody leftists are doing. And it used to be the right. It doesn't matter whoever the authoritarians are this week, don't want you to have control of your own body.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's the exact problem here. If the government is not willing to respect the individual liberty to end your life, basically you are a slave who are forced to live for the state.
Well, it was the church before. It wasn't your body; it was God's.
Right.
But God is actually just a term for them.
Here's the funny thing. The Catholic Church does not want this to be approved solely by Parliament, they want a referendum for euthanasia. Although at this stage, it's late. It's late because what they have approved the law bills, and now it's going to become specific legislation. So now it needs to be handled by specialists, which means that there's no point in having a public consultation on this one. And of course, the Catholic Church wanted, because they would essentially be manipulating the public into voting for what they want.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be really a free election. There are two other parties that are supporting the Catholic Church. One of them is one of the parties with only one MP. The other one are the Christian Democrats. There's really no point. There's also talk that the president might veto the approval, which
can he do that?
Yes, it's the thing is, if he vetoes a law bill, it goes back to Parliament to be changed. If it's changed, he gets to veto it again if he wants to. But if it's not changed, he is forced to approve it. I don't think he's going to veto it, but he's probably going to ask for the.
So he goes, "Are you sure?" They say yes, and he goes, "Oh, all right then."
No, but he's probably going to ask for the constitutional court to check if the law bill is constitutional. Which is actually a good idea. Instead of just throwing out the.
But here's the thing, right? Okay, so I'm listening to Anxious Ozzy's stream she did recently on this a Canadian man whose daughter was transitioned basically totally against his will, right? And basically, you've got a judge saying, you, the father, don't get any say in your daughter, who's what, 12, 13 at the time, taking steps that will irrevocably damage her. That will sterilize her, increase the risk of all kinds of things like cancers and heart problems. And so, you know, we have this problem whereby the judiciary is now often as much a problem as the legislators.
Yeah. Well, the Constitutional Court does not go looking for trouble. We've had situations with the magistrates, but the Constitutional Court is usually very by the book and very technical. So I don't expect any issues. If they find problems with the law bill, it is because it really goes against the Constitution. I just don't see them making a constitutional amendment right now. We haven't touched the Constitution in a few years, so maybe it is time to review it. We should have reviewed it twice since the last time it was amended. But to be honest, the Constitution does not need to be amended as often as legislation.
Well, it wouldn't be a good constitution if it did.
Right.
I mean, a constitution should be a framework.
Yes, absolutely. The thing is, the socialists really do want to fast track this, which is why their political adversaries were able to exploit this as them wanting to exterminate the elderly.
Which is ironic, because you would. You would think it
there
was the left who would be against that kind of thing.
yeah, but there was some issues with the government's political yearly budget, because they wanted to cut down on Social Security, and there are more people collecting Social Security now than there ever been in the history of the country.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
and it's going to get worse, and it's
exactly. So
unsustainable.
of course there was, yeah. So that's of course why those accusations appeared, with them wanting to fast track it, and with the population getting older, that they wanted to kill the elderly. But it might be needed to have a constitutional amendment to include something like quality of life as a fundamental right, and
Yeah.
in a way that allows the choosing of your own death to be considered quality of life.
But that's the slippery slope, because then you get people who opt for euthanasia, because of mental suffering, psychological suffering. So there is a downside to it all.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, Modway. We supposedly have an epidemic of suicide anyway, so it's not like people don't kill themselves.
We don't have an epidemic. I mean,
no. Well,
I don't. It's in the Netherlands. It's about 5 on every 100,000, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's less than that. Sorry. Let me see.
I hear about the problem of the suicide rate in this country. I couldn't tell you how many it is, but my point being is that people are killing themselves. So it's not like killing yourself isn't an option. Is my point.
No, I mean, it's always an option. That's the worst part. People seem to. I mean, it's a bad thing when people kill themselves, but at the same time, I don't think it's something we should capture in legislation, to be honest.
No.
Yeah, no.
I'm not saying it should be captured in legislation. I merely was comparing it to your argument for euthanasia, is that but people are killing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just saying we shouldn't provide them with the safe legal means. They have to do it themselves by dodgy means that may fail.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. I mean, that's because it's being regulated. In the Netherlands, by the way, I was wrong. It's 9.6.
What, per 100,000?
Per 100,000.
Yeah. Well, we're worse than you. Oh, yay! We're doing better than you. We've got 11.1.
I think you are, actually. No, 11 point is not better.
No, it's a joke. Sorry.
Okay.
6 sense of humour. We're winning.
Ireland.
We're doing more.
Ireland is at 10.9. Switzerland is at 11.3.
Okay, the male suicide rate, 15.5.
Yeah, but that's just male.
Yeah, I don't fucking care. It's still.
I do, because listen, the numbers I'm giving you is overall.
Yes, but
I don't know.
I'm a men's rights advocate, and I care about the male figure. Because in our patriarchy, which privileges male, 15.5, it's it's 3 times that of women. That's all I'm saying. And that's the patriarchy for you. Benefiting men. Never.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. It never did, and that's why male suicide is so common.
Uh-huh.
Because males have nowhere to go. But if it weren't so, how do you call this? I used the word a moment ago. If we weren't so caught in legislation, it might not be as much of a talking point as it is now.
Uh-huh.
I still don't understand why suicide has to be made illegal, for example. It's a religious thing.
Yeah, it's a religious
by the way,
thing.
according to Wikipedia, United Kingdom is doing better than the Netherlands at 7.6.
Really?
Yeah.
What year?
I have to look it up 1 sec. I'm scrolling back up. Suicides per 100,000 in 2016.
No, I've got 2017 at 10.1.
Okay, that's
And
still
that's
a
the
huge
Office for
increase.
National Statistics, which I trust more than I trust Wikipedia.
That's all right. The question was for Sweden. Let's see if I can find Sweden. The problem with Sweden is that not all suicides are considered suicides in Sweden. I read that somewhere. I have to look it up again.
Yeah.
Then what do they call it?
Yeah, that's a good question. They can, at times they consider it a health issue, which understandably it is. I mean, you have to be mentally ill to want to commit suicide. The question is, how come you want to commit suicide? Let me see. I can't find Sweden in the list. That's weird. Let me do it differently then. Come on, you bloody piece of...
I'm being a bit mean and evil today. My dark side.
Yeah. Sweden is at 11.7, which is slightly higher than Switzerland, which is at 11.3.
Well, I had heard that traditionally the Nordic countries were worse. Something to do with the long winters.
I've heard that too, yeah. But in Sweden, they don't consider. As I said, they have a different way of considering suicide. I've been told. I'm not sure if I'm correct on that one. I have to.
Yeah, if you walk into a predominantly Muslim area eating a ham sandwich, that's not suicide.
True. That's
no, it's a joke. It is suicide.
I know. There we go. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, no, I can't find it really fast. Sorry. No, but yeah, it's quite high. At 11 per 100,000.
Well, I am quite enlightened by my research, which says that the UK rate is actually declining year on year.
Well, that's the thing. They keep saying that about every country.
But we have had an influx of kebabs. Well, no, I mean, no, but this is the fundamental problem. If you have one dynamic change, then measuring the effect of another dynamic change can be difficult because you've got confounding.
Yeah, they do influence each other. I mean, if you take in a totalitarian ideology where suicide is absolutely unthinkable, and you have a lot of these people, then your overall suicide number will drop as well because these people don't commit suicide.
Yeah. Well, unless it's Allah Akbar.
Yeah, but that's not considered suicide. That's
of course it is.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, not even
by them, but it is by me, and I'm the one.
Yeah, by
counts.
you, but not by legal measurement.
Well,
so yeah, and the worst country in Europe is Russia at 26.5.
Well, that's all right because they're not in Europe. That's a joke. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know. The worst country in the world is considered Guyana in South America.
Tropical paradise,
South Korea.
You would have thought.
Yeah. Let's see. The first European country is Belgium at 15.7. So yeah, there is that. Hi there, Jody, by the way. And hi there, Anxious Aussie.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I've been praising your recent stream, Anxious.
I'm actually thinking about making a video about that idiot singing to the children. The one with the t-shirt on claiming that he's a teacher. Have you seen that one too, John? It was really interesting.
I don't. I try and avoid singing. And I will complain about that fucking song you played at the start of that stream, because honestly, it was painful to listen to. But not just because of the theme, but because musically it was vile. I just don't like that style of music. Anyway.
I actually made a video. I'm completely off topic now. Sorry, John. Sorry, Paulo. I actually made a video listening to Toxic. I made a video. Basically, it's just images, not me talking at all. Just a song from I can't remember, a band or another. I just made a video and then don't monetize it, but because it's a registered song, they will monetize it. See if it'll get more traction like that.
Hang on. I just want to get enough O's on there to emphasize my my response to anxiosity, offering to get us a clearer song. No. Awful.
Well, Anxious, next time when you are willing to come on this stream, we will give you an open mic and you can sing whatever you want.
No. It was a recording. It wasn't the world's best recording. It was horrible.
Well, Ludicrous, obviously you never set foot in Belgium because Belgium isn't real.
I have set wheels in Belgium. Literally, this is what happened. We were in northern France and we thought this is before the Euro, so this is last century. Okay. And it was, oh, we're near to Belgium. Let's go to Belgium. Driving to Belgium. Oh shit, we don't have any Belgian currency. Turn round, go back. So I have driven a car in Belgium for about a mile and then turn around and come back again.
Anyway, do we still have something to say about euthanasia? Because maybe
yes,
I
it's a
did bring
great
it up.
album. Everybody, listen to Euthanasia. Fantastic album.
Well, then there is that.
Ironically, do you know how I got to listen to it? Bruce
turned the radio on?
Dickinson. No, Bruce Dickinson, lead singer of Iron Maiden, did a guest spot as a Radio 1 DJ. So I didn't just hear it on the radio, I heard him play it on the radio. So I listened to Megadeth on personal recommendation of Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden.
Well, I mean, it's not bad.
I like it. It's a great album. And, Anxious Aussie, if you didn't know, it has a song about child abuse.
I'm not quite sure how that's...
Because that's what her last stream was about, child abuse.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Or, you know, it's a topic. But yeah, there's a song on it about child abuse. That's why I like rock music so much, because they actually talk about all kinds of shit and not just, oh, I've fallen in love. Does he love me back? Bullshit.
Well.
Okay. Well, that was fun. We've
So
done
do we
an
still
hour.
have anything?
We've done an hour. Yay! We made it.
Oh, you easily make an hour.
No, we are saying, yay, we've done it. We've made an hour.
So do we have anything else that we want to I'm sorry, Paulo. It's almost as if I hijacked your topic.
No. I wasn't planning on lasting an hour. I thought I thought that we'd have to fill it up with our usual conversation deviation.
Yeah, well, we're good at that. You've come to the right place. Tell us, how was your cultural appreciation of the French capital?
Well, we had a lot of traffic. I think there was a strike in the public transportation system.
Well, obviously. I mean, that's listen. When you go to France, there are two things you need to recognize. One, they all like baguettes, and two, they all like to strike.
3, they don't know how to drive.
Yeah,
That is correct.
That's because they've got their minds either on striking or on baguettes.
No. Okay, so I once spent several hours of a New Year's Eve stuck on the 12, which is the roundabout round the Arc de Triomphe. Because of the wonderful French system whereby you have to give priority to the right, which means traffic can enter the roundabout and the traffic already on the roundabout stops. And you end up with like spokes so that every exit or every entrance had traffic going on, which then stopped for the next junction coming on, which stopped for the next junction coming on. Perfect recipe for gridlock.
We stayed in the weirdest hotel. The decoration looked like it wanted to be a cabaret instead of a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
That's France for you.
Yeah. And we arrived at the hotel at 4 p.m. Because we didn't have lunch in the Air France flight. It was a 2.5-hour flight when we only had a sandwich.
That's not very French.
And we arrived in the hotel at 4:30. Okay, we want to have lunch. Okay, hamburgers all around. Oh, we don't have hamburgers for everyone. What?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Well, the hotel's kitchen was not set up to serve lunch to a lot of people. Because so I imagine that they usually nobody requests lunch at that hotel. So
well,
actually, talking about food on travel, the most amazing meal I ever had was on Italian rail. We went on this holiday where it was 4 days in Venice and 4 days in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a first-class rail from Venice to Rome. And being first class, you get a meal. So being lunchtime, you go along to the dining car. And it was between Verona and Bologna, I think. It was about an hour. And this is how they did it. The waiter started at one end and delivered the food. When he got to the other end, he walked back to the start and started collecting plates.
Okay.
For 5 courses. So.
Wow. That's a lot of work.
No. Trust me, it didn't take him very long to go down the carriage.
Wow.
So there's us sat there on one side of the train. On the other side was this little old lady shoveling the food like frigging mad. And I'm like, what's she eating so fast? Because it's the only way you got your food before the plate went.
Okay.
So she'd obviously done it before, and we hadn't, and so we only got half our meal because the plate kept disappearing.
That's weird.
Honestly, it was like nothing I've ever experienced before.
No, I can imagine that. Yeah, we had that when we were in Belgium in a restaurant. And They were actually standing next to your table. Are you done now? Are you done now? Are you done now? Fucking hell, that was quite annoying. But then again, that's how some. I mean, in a train, I can somewhat understand it. It's not as if you're going to up and leave or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you paid for the meal. It's all in the ticket. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
So you just sit down, and it's like you're three
Start
courses in, and you finally get the gist of how it's working.
Yeah, that's quite annoying. Quite annoying. Strange things happen in the world, though.
No, here's the thing. Strange events are your anecdotes. If everything was smooth and
Yeah, fair
whatever,
enough.
you'd
Fair
have
enough.
nothing to talk about.
Well, I agree. You're correct. Where is this?
But you see, I'm a huge Italophile. I love Italy and everything about it. So. Even the bad stuff's good.
Even the bad stuff is good.
Yeah.
We were in Bologna about almost a month ago for the hybridized Fiat 500, and we climbed that tall tower with 500 steps.
Uh-huh.
It took us about 15 minutes, and we. I was complaining. They better have a pig. They better be cooking a pig upstairs to give to us.
We need food.
Yeah.
But I'm 100% sure they weren't cooking a pig upstairs.
They were not. But then we went to a biological restaurant or whatever, and food wasn't bad. But we had to complain because they didn't leave the wine bottles in the table, and we kept drinking each glass of wine all at once. It was good wine.
So last year at the Giro d'Italia, they started in Bologna.
Mm-hmm.
That is the whole race. So it was the Grand Depart, as the French would say. And because it was the whole race, it was the very first day, the mayor of Bologna gets to make a big speech. Guess what he focused on?
Food.
How Bologna is not responsible for bolognese.
That it?
Yeah, because apparently he went on and on and on. Bolognese, not from Bologna. It's like, what the fuck?
There were things to be compared with, I guess.
No, I know, but you've got a showcase to the world and you prattle on about something that was misnamed after you.
Yeah.
No, because the cycling commentators who are big foodies, when you've got several hours to fill each day, you talk about all kinds of things, and food and wine is big. So they're always talking about the food and the wine. And so they were just like, what the hell's this guy doing talking about this for?
Who cares?
Why has he got to be in his bonnet about this misattribution?
Yeah, that's weird though.
It was weird. It's like, don't tell everyone about the delights of Bologna. Don't go to Rome. Don't go to Verona. Don't go to Florence. Come to Bologna. We've got all these attractions. No. We weren't responsible for the bolognese.
Yeah. As if it's a bad thing. I don't think it is, to be honest.
Well, the funny thing is, it's as far as I can tell, it's one of these things where the Italians don't have that name. It's something
I don't think they do.
Foreigners. I thought it's something foreigners invented. So, like, they just call it ragu. But I may be wrong. Could be wrong.
think ragu is something else though.
No, ragu is just a meat
I'm
sauce.
trying. Yeah, but I think they call it tomato sauce.
What?
Sauce of tomatoes, pomodori.
Yeah. What's that?
Well,
we
it is
call
what
it
it-
bologna. No,
No.
but I don't think
No,
they call
no,
it.
no, no.
I agree with you that they don't call it that in Italy.
No, we don't call pomodori bolognese. It's a meat sauce.
Yeah, but it's a meat tomato sauce. It's not
suppose.
just a meat sauce. Because you can have other meat sauces as well.
No, you see,
for
Michael
example.
Keller's saying it's Napoli.
Right, just the tomato is Napolitana.
No, but that's tomato. But bolognese isn't tomato. It's
No, it's tomato and ground beef.
Mhm.
and onions and bacon and other things.
I didn't realize this is turning into a cooking show.
No, well, it just comes from this discussion about Bologna, which got mentioned.
Yeah, that is true.
It says known in Italian as ragu alla bolognese.
It is?
That's what it says on Wikipedia, so it must be true.
Weren't you the one who just a moment ago
Oh,
said...
for goodness sake, that's the irony. I'm joking. That's what it says it on Wikipedia, it must be true, is sarcasm.
Oh,
Yeah, you're not really supposed to eat the babies.
No.
you're not really supposed to eat the babies. You need the euthanize. No, it's not euthanization when you do it to animals. It's murder when you do it to animals because they can't consent.
No. It's dinner when you do it to animals.
Well, yeah, that too. But it's murder.
Well, meat is murder is the attitude of some people.
But then again, eating anything is murder.
No. Animals are part of our natural diet.
True.
And let's be honest, animals murder each other all the time.
Also true. Also true. Yet, who cares?
Okay, so
Eating plants is murder too.
do you trust this? I did a search on bolognese, right? And it says, this simple bolognese recipe from Jamie Oliver is the best spaghetti bolognese recipe ever. Guess whose website it's on?
Jamie Oliver's.
Jamie Oliver's.
Let me guess. It's not actually bolognese sauce, it's just full of kale.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, the point is when you say it's the best ever and it's your own recipe, I'm going to call bullshit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of bullshit.
Just a little bit of bullshit. You might be, I'm not quite sure, but you might be a little bit biased.
Yes, just a tad.
Just a tad.
Oh, dear.
Same people who put pineapple on a pizza, Johnny. Okay, who puts bacon in? What's that? Bacon in pie?
Come on, you can have bacon in anything.
Yeah.
Well, you can have. There is a sauce for spaghetti, which is carbonara, but it's a white sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So it's.
I know I've got some in my
and...
fridge, but the Italians don't use bacon. They use a form of ham.
Pancetta.
Yeah.
Italians use pancetta, which is bacon.
It's bacon. It's just a fancy name bacon.
No, it's not. It's not technically exactly the same.
So how is it not technically the same?
Because it's not cured the same.
Who cares about that?
I do because I like bacon. I do like pancetta, but it's not the same. Okay, Anxious. The
Well-
Bolognese is the proper Italian pronunciation because they pronounce the final E.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, if you've ever been to Nando's, that's not proper Portuguese food.
No, it's South African, isn't it?
I think the Africans would disagree.
No, but it was invented in South Africa, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
The Nando's was, but
No, he said Nando's, and I said Nando's was invented in South Africa. So,
Yeah, yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's like the only thing I know about Nando's, apart from the fact I don't like it, is it came from South Africa.
it's a typical. I thought they only are around in the UK though.
What?
I thought Nando's were only around in the UK.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
There was
Okay, Wikipedia says.
no.
Nando's.
No, they did. Someone did a video on them a few years ago, and what it is in South Africa, there were these two companies who had a funny advertising spat. One of which was Nando's.
Okay.
And that was when I learned Nando's was created in South Africa.
Yep. According to Wikipedia, South African restaurant chains that specialize in Portuguese food, such as Piri Piri's, 1,000 outlets in 35 countries. So they're ruining our image in 35 countries.
I can understand that one.
Well, you see,
I've
I never knew it was supposed to be Portuguese, so
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture they have of their chicken here on Wikipedia. This looks disgusting.
yeah.
If
What-
you serve chicken like this anywhere in Portugal, you'd be shot.
Yeah.
And besides, this is our takeout food. You're not supposed to go specifically to a restaurant to eat it. It's
You
takeout.
pick it up and you go home.
Yeah, because you don't want to cook it that day.
Yeah.
Lazy man's food.
Yeah. And women, lazy women.
What? Women can be lazy too.
Absolutely. Especially when it comes to
Oh.
cooking. Just saying. Not implying any gender roles here.
Well, color me surprised.
Show us. Show you what, Michael Keller.
Oh, the food, I guess, the chicken.
Well, hasn't he got the interwebs?
I think this is John saying, Google it yourself.
Yes.
It's not our job to educate you. Educate yourself.
Yeah, educate yourself. What? You don't know how to Google things? Duh.
Well, if you could
Like
trust
I
Google.
can't even.
Trust. What's
No,
trust
no,
got
no,
to do
no,
with it?
I'm doing the voice of a beta male. Educate yourself, patriarchal male.
Show us
I can't
how
even.
can you be shoot in Portugal? I don't have any of the chicken that for which I'll be shot in Portugal.
We're not saying it. That's on him. That's
Yeah,
on
I mean to
Paulo.
be fair, the
We
only
linked it
person,
already. Never mind. It's
The
already
only-
linked.
the only person who can say for what you be shot in Portugal is the Portuguese on the street. Strangely enough.
Yeah, and we usually don't want to shoot anybody, but for this you would be
Well.
shot.
There can be good reasons to be shot. It doesn't automatically have to be bad.
Yeah, SJW.
Well, it's bad for you because you're shot,
Feminist.
but yeah, the male feminists. But then again, male feminists.
Female
should be shot.
feminists, I do not like
No,
your
no.
sexism.
No. Male feminists should be shot too because
No,
otherwise they'll just
no.
start raping people.
Two. Yes, as well. Just feminists. You don't have to specify the sex.
Non-binary feminists.
Non-binary feminists.
Especially non-binary anything. After that appalling propaganda piece by the BBC of that whiny Scottish twat. Oh, I'm so oppressed. When I go to a haircut, they ask me, are you a boy or a girl?
Well, I mean, there's a very simple way around it. Just give them a map. Okay, these are the things you can pick from. Yeah, I want something else. Okay, I can help you. There's the door. There's a hairdresser not far from here.
Yeah, no. The non-binary complained about the austerity of the barber and the opulence of the salon.
Yeah, I remember.
So,
sorry.
Quite as always, there was no suggestion for what would actually suit this twat.
No, I know. You can't do right by these people, so why bother trying?
No, but I don't want to do right by these people. These are people for whom I am so devoid of sympathy, I generally don't give a fuck.
Sorry.
As I put in the stream earlier, I'm Sean today. I got a razor and I shaved my head.
And no one can see it because the imagery of his camera is really not well. But then again, we take you on your word, mate.
Well, but the point is, my last haircut cost me nothing. Ludicrous.
Yeah, I can't remember what my last haircut cost me. But considering it's more than 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I think I can be forgiven to have forgotten it.
Yes, it was so long ago, it's in Gilda.
It was still in Gilda, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
10 euros over here.
Yeah.
And I get to read the paper.
And I get to read the paper.
How old?
Today's. It's always today's paper.
You have very high standards in your country. Here, they're at least a week old.
Don't get me started.
Well, you see, there are usually about 12 people inside a barber shop. 3 are there to get their haircut. 9 are retired locals who just go there to read the newspaper.
It's like a library.
Yes. It's community service.
To Bob. Don't you have dollars and cents in Australia? You don't have to pay 30 francs, Michael. You can do what I do. Buy a razor thingy and just shave your head.
Or you can do what I do.
Which you never get your hair cut.
No, don't get your hair cut.
Well, I'd have to have hair to do that, and I don't.
Yeah, that's not my issue.
No, it's not his issue.
I do have hair.
Yeah. Sasquatch.
Nah, not that bad. Not that bad.
Nearly.
I like my hair, to be honest.
Nearly.
I really do like my hair.
That's good.
Growing,
having mine because I ain't got any.
As long as I can grow in my hair. Sorry. Yeah, there you have it. I can sing. I like to think anyway. So yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of funny though, because I've got long hair a little bit. And my son, he's 4 years old and he has long hair too. And when he's out on the street with us and whatnot, and he's behaving particularly well, people come up and say, "Oh, your daughter is behaving so nice." And I'm like, "It's not my daughter, it's my son." "Oh, sorry. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. My son doesn't care, so no offense taken.
Closer
It's
to
almost
a
as if-
pineapple.
Sorry?
Is that what you have on your money, anxious Aussie? Fruit.
Do they have fruit in Australia with that weather?
Well, they're near a
Nah,
lot of places.
but
They're near a lot of places where they grow exotic produce, so they can import it.
yeah, they're not really near though. I mean,
Yeah, you've got all New Guinea and Papua and what's that?
which is
other
still
one?
quite a bit away.
No, it's not. It's not.
Depends where in Australia. Well, it depends where in Australia you are. I mean, if you're in the
They're just
northern
across the
territory,
straits.
yeah, you. I mean, the Aborigine,
Which is still
the
a
ancestors
few,
of the Aborigines walked over from Papua New Guinea to Australia.
Yeah, but that was some time ago. You can't do that anymore.
No,
Well,
you
You
can
try, but
Well,
They
you can't
used
walk,
to walk
but
to Britain from Belgium.
yeah, but it was
Yes.
really cold.
that was also quite some time ago, by the
Yeah,
way.
10,000 years.
We haven't been able to do anything like that for quite some time.
Yeah.
Though in all fairness, you can walk to Britain once again. It's not advised to do, but you can. Oh, you can. They've got the tunnel now, don't they?
How long would it
John
take
is
to walk?
completely out of it. John, tunnel, Calais.
Yeah.
How long would it take to
Yeah,
walk through the tunnel?
You can walk from one end to the other.
It's a rail tunnel. Trust me.
It's a rail tunnel. You shouldn't.
There is
But you can.
there is also a service tunnel between the two rail tunnels. You could walk the service tunnel, but it's a fuck of a long way.
Yeah. You just have to believe Michael Keller. Oh fucking hell! I actually used that line in one of the videos that's upcoming soon. But I have to admit, the one that I'm talking about, I don't say a word in that one. I just type stuff out. But yeah, everything is possible if you just believe. That's why so many people still believe in socialism.
No, they're just stupid.
Well, yeah, that too. But I mean, it could work if you just believe.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No. So I was explaining this to Alicia about Bernie Sanders, right? And that you've got two choices, in my opinion. Either malicious intent or terminal stupidity. Both of which roll
Bernie
out
Sanders?
of being voted for.
No, Bernie Sanders isn't an idiot. No.
Yeah, then it's...
He is malicious. It is
that's what I'm saying.
purely
You've got
malicious.
two options for somebody to support socialist policies. Either maliciousness or terminal stupidity.
I mean, let's be honest though. He even at his what's his name? The Bloomberg called him out on the fact that he had 3 houses, and his response was, "Yeah, well, I have one in Washington because that's where I work, and I have one in Vermont, which is where I come from, and then I have a summer home, which everyone in Vermont has." And I'm like, how far away from reality must you be?
But
to
that's
actually
why
think that's a good response.
But that's why he says white people never experience poverty.
Yeah. Because he's white people.
And he's a socialist and therefore fully representative of the working class, despite never having had a real job in his life.
I mean, let's be honest. He has an achievement that not a lot of people ever been able to achieve. He's been kicked out of a commune for being useless.
I actually suspect of commune members that was more common than you might suspect.
Well,
the guy
I've
who
never been in a commune, but the whole idea of a commune was that everyone was welcome. I mean, that's what socialism said.
No. It's not everyone's welcome unreservedly. You still have to pull your weight.
So that's probably why he's such a big favor on socialism.
I imagine that the guy who does all the work in the commune quickly becomes an adept of capitalism.
Well,
but yes,
no,
yes, it does.
I mean, I've heard in America you get these communes that are small where everyone pulls their weight and they get on just fine. And as long as they stay small, they work.
And everyone pulls their weight.
And everyone pulls their weight. Just like humans in evolutionary time always did. You take the useless people in your tribe and you kick them out.
Well, you try to get them to become useful, but if they...
But eventually, you kick them out. I don't mean you kick them out as a first resort, you kick them out as a last resort.
Yeah, eventually. You're correct. That is true.
And then people learn to be useful, because being kicked out is a death sentence.
But, that's the worst part. You have to actually do your best to be not useful. Because there's always something someone can do. Always. It's impossible to be 100% useless.
Trust me,
no, it's not
there's
impossible.
Many a
but you have to work on it.
Yes, and that's what higher education is for. That's what gender studies is for. And race studies.
To help prove how useless they are.
To affirm their uselessness. To hone it into a fine art.
Fine art, indeed. Yeah. Bernie got someone to write his book and use campaign funds donations to buy thousands of copies. That's how he became a millionaire. Well, that could be true. I wouldn't know. Fair is fair. I wouldn't know. I only know is that he is a millionaire, and I so liked it because for decades he's been railing against the millionaires.
Oh yeah.
Sleep well, by the way, Michael. Oh no, you're going to someone else. Okay, have fun at Studio Brûlé. No, but yeah, for decades he's been railing against millionaires, and then he becomes one. So
now
all of a sudden, well, just billionaires then.
Yeah.
And then he has this great plan on how to save everyone. Unfortunately, it's completely unaffordable, so it might. There's this old joke. You know what communists use for light after electricity?
Shit.
Candles.
Oh.
So yeah, that's the great leap forward. It's amazing to me because every great leap forward in socialists, I mean, never has a capitalist said, "Oh no, this is a great leap forward. We're going to achieve this great leap forward." Well, capitalists always say, "Oh, we're going to try to achieve this." No, and it might be a good thing
because capitalists aren't authoritarians. At least the non-corporatist ones.
Yeah, Elon Musk is usually talking about amazing leaps and beyond developing unseen technologies, and it is also not very realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, he's still not. Well, he actually is. For Tesla, he's milking his shareholders, but for SpaceX, is definitely working with the public money.
Yeah.
I think Johnny thinks I'm you.
I'm sorry, John, but today I'm Modwayne and John is SOT.
Yeah.
Global capitalism is the problem. Globalism is the problem. Capitalism.
Yeah,
capitalism can mean anything.
It's the large scale that's the problem. It doesn't matter whether it's private or public. It's the scale, not the form. That's the problem.
Yeah, globalism kind of is the problem.
No, but I'm saying that it's large scale. Large scale private enterprise is no better than large states.
True.
You've essentially got a small bunch of people making phenomenal decisions affecting millions of lives with no consequence to themselves.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. And therein lies the problem.
And this is
Well.
why I'm an evil lefty, because I don't trust big business.
One sec, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Big business usually starts framing it in the notion of what's more efficient for the whole system.
Yeah.
And you think of the whole system is collectivist.
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, over time, whoever is wealthy will manipulate the system to concentrate more and more wealth and power in their own hands.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is they buy up everything, and then all the profits go to them, and then everyone else is just working. The problem is, and I've heard people argue about this, right, against this, is this. What we need for a healthy economy is people with money.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, oh, well, businesses needed customers. But no, you see, here's the fault. Here's where it fails. What a business needs is everybody else or the other businesses to pay their workers well. Well, they don't. Because you maximize your profits by minimizing your costs, and the biggest variable cost is your wage cost. And so the actual way to win in a capitalist economy is to be the one company who doesn't pay your workers. This is why you get all these companies perpetually chasing low-wage economies. And Apple having slave labor and Nike and all these, because that's how you make your profit, minimizing your labor costs. The problem is then no one in your market is working and can afford to buy your stuff. But that's somebody else's problem.
This is kind of why, what do you call it? The guy from Ford, one of the first thing he wanted to do was to make his cars affordable to everyone who worked at his factory should be able to buy one of those cars.
He wasn't that enlightened. The reason why he wanted to make the cars affordable was to decrease profits, to force his partners in the company to sell their shares and basically leave the company so he would have control.
Okay, I did not know that part.
Yeah, his partners were the Dodge brothers. They created the Dodge brand.
Okay,
They were completely against the Model T.
Okay. Well, as I said, I did not know that, but yeah, that's good to know. So, but it's double, and I never understood this because globalism can't be a good way for capitalism to be run.
But it is
because
good
you
for
need a healthy market.
But it's good for corporations.
But it's good for corporations. It's good for plutocracy, but it can't be good for capitalism because you need a healthy market, and globalism destroys healthy markets.
Yeah. But this is one of the fundamental problems of the maturing of civilizations, is that they destroy themselves because the personal self-interest of the very powerful actually damages their own long-term interest.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's why our economies work according to game theory, and according to game theory, you will always end with suboptimal outcomes because you don't know what the other person is doing, and you have to assume certain bad intent in the other person, and by so doing, you then take a protective, not a creative strategy, and the outcome is everyone loses compared to if everyone was trusting and cooperative.
Yeah.
Because it only takes the one person to go against the trusting cooperative ethos and screw everybody over, and then the whole system falls apart. But because that's a possibility, everyone ends up having to mitigate against it.
Yeah. And that's why socialism always is the fastest
No,
run
it's
to
not
the
just
bottom.
socialism. It's corporatism and everything. Anything where you've got these really powerful, large entities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All socialism is a very fast track to such very large and powerful entities.
Yeah. It's difficult, to be honest, for me to understand that there are people who actually are in favor of that.
Well, you can thank the education system and its utter failure to educate.
True. Still,
Yeah.
it makes you, or rather, it makes me wonder.
You see, here's a problem, right? That what we know is a fraction of what we don't know.
True.
Okay. So you're told stuff. How much of it can you reasonably expect to be critical of and go and find out for yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be less and less and less.
And if you have an ideology that hits the emotional sweet spot, people are predisposed to be less critical.
Yeah, and people kind of like to follow majority, to be honest. When someone says something, they're likely to say, "Oh, yeah, no, I agree with that."
You know, you get into a group and everyone in the group says this thing's brilliant, and you start going, "Oh, I don't know," and then everyone shames that person away from looking into it to keep them all on board.
Yeah, lobsters in a bucket. But yeah, that's true.
Lobsters in a bucket?
Yeah. When you got a bunch of lobsters in a bucket, they try to climb out. You don't have to put a lid on it because they will prevent others from climbing out of the bucket.
Okay.
Lobsters in a bucket. People preventing other people from achieving instead of trying to achieve themselves as well.
You can do that in the seafood place. You can watch the water tank where they keep the lobsters while you're waiting for your food.
Yeah, it's just open. They're not climbing out. Well, once one of them seems to be climbing out, the others pull him back in.
That is weird.
Quite. Yeah. Well, lobsters in a bucket.
Okay. I don't eat seafood, so I would have to just take your word for it. The last time I remember seeing such a tank, I was about 8 on the island of Rhodes.
All right.
And that was an awful long time ago. Half a century. No, it was 50 years ago.
I believe you. Old cook.
Hey. At least I made it this far.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
Holiday in Greece. Fancy.
It was Easter.
And
I know this because I was really upset I didn't get 2 Easter eggs that year because there were 2 Easters.
Yeah, because one in England and one in Greece.
No. We were both on Rhodes, but the Western Easter was a week before the Orthodox Easter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I've always known that the date of Easter is utterly arbitrary. Because all they had to do was ask the fucking Jews. Jews, when is Passover?
But then again, I mean, you try to make sense of things. And you try to make sense of religion. I mean...
No. We have religious people in the audience. Be nice.
Well,
No, be nice. I mean, come on.
I won't use words like numpty then.
No, I mean, I'm not going. I listened to Noel Plum earlier, and he said, "Stop disrespecting the religious," and I quite agree. It's not nice.
I'm not disrespecting
I
them.
didn't say you were. He said to stop disrespecting religious. He actually said, "Don't say they're deluded," but
see, there you have it. Be nice to the mentally ill. That's
No!
not nice to say.
no, they're not mentally ill. They're lovely people. We love you, anxious and ludicrous. Even if one of you's anxious and the other's ludicrous. I'm bemused, so what do I know?
Well, you have to be a little bit mentally ill to watch the stream constantly.
Yeah. And we take that's nothing for them. I mean, what about us? We actually do this on purpose.
Well, I mean, there are people who love to watch train wrecks as well, so, or car crashes. Always have a lot of audience.
Yeah, but
There you have it.
there's something to see. Here, there's just something to listen to.
True. There's always money to be made in a crisis. Now it's the climate crisis. That is true. Though, Johnny, I don't think the climate crisis is just about making money. I think it's more about control.
Yeah, it is. I was telling Modwen earlier. There's a headline on the BBC, and it said, "Number of cases of the coronavirus doubles in 24 hours in South Korea." Right? The Prime Minister says the situation is grave. Do you know how many it doubled to? 433. Now, call me an old cynic, but 433 out of 50, 60, or however many million there are in South Korea isn't a great situation. So I looked up the numbers for the Spanish flu in 1918. 500 million, or 27% of the world population. That is a great situation.
Yeah.
Not 433 out of 60 million. Sorry.
Well, but then again, I already got a message from, what was it? One of those international newspapers. 2 people died of the coronavirus in Italy.
Okay.
2.
Again.
Paulo is the 3rd one.
Again. No. He's in Portugal.
But he was coughing. Corona.
No, but he's in Portugal, not in Italy. He could be the first known case of.
I've been coughing for 2 months. If I had the coronavirus, I'd be dead already.
Well,
you don't know.
Anyway,
have you ever had corona before?
Yes, you had a common cold.
No, I've never tried any Mexican beer.
Well, there is that.
I have. But then I'm all about trying the beers from around the world.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, it seems that every time somebody catches an infectious disease for which can't be cured with a prescription, the whole medical establishment starts going off the deep end, and that makes the press go off the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they want something to write about and pull in the books.
Yeah,
Be afraid.
it's not an issue. I mean, it just happens to be. We can't cure this immediately with a prescription. Panic mode.
Well, guess what? You can't cure the common cold.
Yeah,
But
but
it's
that
not
one
that
they've
bad.
by now accepted.
Yeah, but no, so they call it the coronavirus instead of the common cold, even though it's the same thing.
Well, I've been told that this illness has a slightly different pattern, but it's definitely based on the coronavirus, which is the common cold.
Which is the common cold. But if they say
Yeah.
common cold cases double in one day in South Korea, no one would give a shit.
True.
Instead, it's coronavirus cases double in one day in South Korea. You should still not give a shit.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you,
Disease
mate.
happens.
People get sick. Oh no. Corona crisis. No, Johnny List, I worked in a pub once. There we had a true Corona crisis. We were all out of them.
Beer, yeah, all out of beer, yeah.
Oh, that's so nasty. I know. Sorry.
No, it's not.
But yeah, no.
No, that's a real crisis. I've been in pubs
Yeah.
that ran out of beer, and that is a crisis.
There's no fun in a pub with no beer.
Yeah.
Dublin has even made a song about this. So you know it's serious.
There is a different type of Corona that I've had, a petit Corona. I smoked it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they the very long ones?
No, petit Coronas are small ones.
Oh, okay.
It's about a finger thick and about, what shall I say, 8 to 10 centimeters long.
And relatively cheap.
And they're relatively cheap, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you have, a petit Corona is not that nice. I mean, you should go for a normal Corona. They're slightly better. But then again, it also depends a lot on which brands, because Corona is the size of the cigar. It's not the brand. I mean,
yeah, I've had Monte Cristo No. 3 a couple of times.
I don't like Monte Cristo.
No
then
way.
Again, I'm not a Cuban.
Right. I know there was a time that the Davidoffs were the Davidoffs from the Dominican Republic were better than the Monte Cristos.
I still think they are, to be honest, but they're also more expensive. So there is that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a Cuban fan. They're too.
Communist?
Most Cubans I know.
Communist?
No. Cigar isn't communist. I mean, cigar is a cigar.
You said Cuban.
You can't blame a cigar.
I wasn't listening. You said Cuban.
Yeah.
Said
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Okay.
Bloody hell.
I'm
your
not a
psychology.
fan of tobacco product. I'm just saying, I'm not a fan of tobacco product.
Yeah, me neither, but I like a good cigar.
I tried a Churchill once.
Oh, that's my favorite size, to be honest.
Yeah, but man, I was getting drunk from it.
That's possible. You get used to it, I guess. But no, there's nothing more enjoyable than to have a good cigar and being able to smoke it for like an hour. And just to sit outside, a little something to drink, and just looking at the people with a cigar.
Okay.
Any cigar that you can smoke in less than 12 minutes is not worth your money.
Can I just say, I don't understand this. You do you. I will not judge you, but you're mental. I mean, damn it. I wasn't judging.
But John, it's not my problem that you lack empathy and the ability to understand things. I mean, sorry.
I have empathy and the ability to understand things. So just some things I have no empathy for and cannot sympathize with.
No, a good cigar. I mean, but a good cigar you do not smoke over your lungs. You just smoke it in your mouth.
Cigar's a little bit naughty. Is that wrong?
That's rape.
Okay.
Cigar rape culture.
Yeah, cigar rape culture. Boom, boom, boom. No, but I do enjoy. I haven't smoked a cigar for quite a while. I usually only imbibe once or twice per month. I mean, it's not as if I'm a regular smoker. But when I do, I
Well,
want to sit down for a moment.
regular. You said regular. If you imbibe once or twice a month, you're a regular smoker. You're just not a frequent
Not cigars.
smoker.
You're a regular cigar smoker if you have at least one per day.
No,
Yeah.
that's frequent, not regular.
No, that's regular. Frequent is
Regular.
if you have more than one per day.
No, regular means at intervals. That's regularity. Frequency is how many. Just
Okay,
giving you
but
a lesson in English.
one or two per month already indicates it can't be regular, because if it's either 1 or 2 per month, that means that there's a difference in interval.
No, that's regular.
No, that's irregular.
No,
regular
that's
is once
regular.
every month, or twice every month, or once every week. That's regular.
No, it's regular. Sorry.
No, it's not.
It is.
By your own definition, it's not.
No, it is.
Because there should be regularity in it. Well, there isn't.
I'm
Anyway.
on 1 or 2 per year.
I'm on 0 for life.
You know,
My whole life, I've had 0.
You do not appreciate the finer things in life. You don't eat shellfish. You don't smoke cigars.
And I don't listen to opera. These things are immutable for me. They are part of my soul.
Yeah.
Soon you start becoming a teetotaler.
You piss off. I've already had 3 beers tonight.
I never understood teetotaler, by the way.
No, we have one in our audience.
No, I mean, the name. I don't understand the name. I mean, I can understand you not.
Only tea.
Yeah, but how many people who don't drink alcohol only drink tea?
It's a metaphor.
The British, they invented the word.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't drank alcohol for a very long time. But I can tell you this.
But you smoke.
I haven't drunk any tea either.
And you're poking fun at me. Ha! Ha! I say, ha!
Yeah, because I don't drink stuff that I don't enjoy. Then again, there are a few good beers. Now, there's a medical reason for me not to drink alcohol, to be honest.
Someone who only plays golf.
A teetotaler. I haven't played golf I've played golf once, and I'm not talking about mini golf. I mean the real thing, walking for rich people, because that's what golf is. I can't imagine that being a serious sport, but apparently it is.
It's not.
I've done it once.
It's not spelt as 2 words, but he's correct in the spelling.
It became a real sport once they let the black guy play.
It became a real sport when they let the black guy play.
No. It became a real sport with Jack Nicklaus.
How that?
Well, he was the first superstar.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Keep doing this wrong. Oh, fuck it.
I can only suggest that the reason it's spelled teetotal as T-double-E is because it's from Lancashire and they're all idiots outside of the page. It was invented. They know it was actually first started in Preston, England.
Sorry.
So, yes, kudos to Ludicrous. Yeah, I'm looking at that article now. I was already looking at that article. Kudos to Ludicrous. The one that he's put a link to. That's the one I'm looking at.
And indeed, anxious, you roll the smoke around in your mouth. I won't say inhaling hurts, because I never had that experience. But I know a few very good cigars, and if you ever find yourself needing a laxative, then you smoke that one over your lungs, and you'll have a laxative. I can tell you that. That's the funny thing about cigars. Or to me, I find it very funny. I was a few years ago, and I had Gran Coronas with me. Cheap ones. I can't remember the brand, but cheap Gran Coronas. And there was a kid there. Oh, can I have one? Can I have one? Can I have one? Yeah, sure, mate. But he never smoked a cigar in his life. And I told him, listen, you light it, you taste it, keep it in your mouth, don't inhale. And he did. And he pooed his pants. He literally pooed his pants. Which is not weird if you're not used to smoking a cigar like that. And the dude was inhaling as if it was just a cigarette. And I'm like, that's gonna hurt. That was good fun, though. I laughed. He didn't, but can't have it all. Oh, maybe I should do a stream on cigars someday. I only inject 2 wiki when Mod uses it. So yeah, there you have it.
Well, I hate to say this, but if you have a stream on cigars, you will count me out.
That's all right.
There are certain subjects that never made sense to me. Anything to do with a physical sensation. So like film reviews. Why?
We did a stream on films, didn't we? Some time ago?
No. We mentioned films, but it's like we didn't review them. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's like, because taste is subjective. So my telling you something's a good film or a bad film is meaningless to you.
True,
and
that
vice
too.
versa. And thus you talk about the wonders of a cigars is meaningless to me, because not only have I never had one, I never will have one.
Yeah, that's. But there are people out there who do.
No, that's fine.
Who do enjoy a good cigar.
I'm just saying.
I know I do. I haven't had one for months now, which is a shame, really. Then again, I don't smoke inside.
So you drop your regularity.
Yeah, I never said I was regular. You're the one who said I was regular.
And I just said you dropped it. I'm laughing at myself. Come on.
You should.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Somebody has to, and if you buggers won't.
Yeah, there you have it.
You're far too serious these days, young man.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting old.
No, I can't blame you.
Get off my lawn. So, but yeah, no. What was I was planning on saying something. What was I planning to say? Bloody hell!
Really?
So, you know what?
That doesn't sound the greatest thing to say in a stream. It's like not really a conversation. But if you like.
No. We just missed an opportunity for a joke. What was I trying to say? Meeting adjourned. It is? No, you say it.
Meeting
I say what? Meeting
yes,
adjourned.
Yes. This is from Blazing Saddles.
Okay, but yeah, no, not that. No, I can't remember what I wanted to say. We're talking about cigars.
You want to do a stream on cigars? I suggest a stream on the internet will reach more people. Ba-bum.
Well, considering our numbers, I'm not sure about that one, John.
Well, maybe.
I've got a few mates, and we like to do a cigar every once and again together. So it's just hanging out, mans like mans.
I really went to a dark place with that one. I don't want to know about your sex life. That's all I'm saying.
It's not a sexual thing, John. Again, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Send the bishop to the actress.
Well, if it's just a cigar, it's just a cigar.
Send the bishop.
It doesn't matter who says it. So yeah, there is that. I'm not really sure if we have anything to talk about still, though.
Well, I don't think we have for about half an hour, but that hasn't stopped us.
True that. True that.
After all, it's Saturday night. And we have little
Night
reason.
fever.
Sorry?
Night fever.
No. No.
Night fever.
No.
What's that?
Disco.
A quote from Sigmund said the ex-president to the intern.
Yeah.
Sometimes timing is really great, ludicrous and anxious.
Yes. Yes. Shame about the time lag. It'd be even funnier.
True. Well, you can't have it all. Too bad, though, but yeah.
Okay, so we've done 2 hours, which is, to be quite honest, amazing under the circumstances.
Oh? No, we usually do around 2 hours.
No, but when Paulo didn't think we'd make an hour.
Oh, like that. Yeah, no, you're correct. Yeah.
I was talking
Paulo,
circumstances.
thank you for being such an amazing guest. So.
Yes. And you're always welcome back.
Yeah. In fact, I want to be there for the cigar stream.
The cigar stream. Well, if I'm going to do one, I might actually not do it late on the normal time. Maybe I'll do it during the day, so that I can actually sit outside and smoke a cigar. Kind of like. Then again, YouTube might ban it because I heard that. What's the guy from Prager University? He had
Dennis
a
Prager.
cigar. Yeah, Dennis Prager. He used to do his thing with a cigar, and it got banned because of the smoking of a cigar.
I love it.
God, I hate the fucking Puritans. Just saying.
You know what the funny thing is, and this is really true. I'm not shitting you on this one. Smoking a cigar is not as unhealthy as smoking a cigarette, even though you can take an hour with a cigar and 5 minutes with a cigarette. Because a cigar, you do not smoke over your lungs. So the risk of lung cancer with a cigar is, just as if you're walking outside and breathing the air.
Yeah, you've been to London too, then.
Oh, it's kind of funny. In Amsterdam a few years ago, they did a measurement. Which air was dirtier, the one that you inhale normally, or the one that you inhale whilst smoking a cigar with a filter? Now, the cigar did have a filter, so that's sorry, not the cigar. The cigarette did have a filter, so it's the filter that did a lot of the work. But smoking a filtered cigarette is cleaner than breathing the air in Amsterdam.
Well, when I was a student and I lived in London, and I used to cycle from where I lived into central London, and I did this for a few months, and I felt shit. And I thought, but cycling should be good exercise. And I have since found out that the traffic fumes are so bad in London. No, it's really unhealthy to cycle in London.
No, I can understand.
You're better off not exercising than cycling.
Yeah. Well, there are places in the Netherlands where we have the same problem. I think we can call it a problem because I think it is a problem.
Yeah. Especially for a country that is so keen on the bicycle.
And don't forget, next Saturday is a leap day. What? We're going to skip Saturday? Oh, the February. Okay, never mind. Okay.
Well, not for me, as I said. I'm not leaping for anyone.
Me neither. Anyway, I'm not sure when we can. Wow, that's sad. What about the air quality, Ludicrous? We got a problem.
Anxious who said that is sad, not Ludicrous.
No, Anxious said, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. We got a problem is a different YouTube channel. I know. Dude's been growing fast. I feel so It's unfair. Everyone gets big on YouTube. Then again. I like his stuff, though.
I haven't. Have I? Yes, I'm sure I have watched. You've got a problem.
Well, he even got featured on Sargon.
Yeah, and
Yeah, just saying.
Sargon interviewed Posey Parker, and she's a cunt.
Yeah, but I mean, it's good for your notoriety. I'm small on YouTube in more ways than one. Yeah, same here, mate. Well, I'm small on 2 channels. Ta-da!
But not for much longer.
I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do.
Well,
Still thinking about it.
You declared quite decisively on Wednesday that you were going to go back to streaming on Modway.
No, I was thinking about going back to stream.
Well,
yeah.
You didn't say it in an equivocal way, but that's fine. I'm not going to suggest.
No.
But can I suggest you call it Modway's House of Misery in future?
Modway's House of Misery. Why that?
Because it's not fun anymore.
Aww. I'm sorry.
No, I meant we're just miserable old gits. I'm a miserable old git, so that's it.
No, but talking about stream, because the last stream I did on my own channel was not too long ago about my experience with LiveLeak, and I think I'm not sure, and this is something Toxic also said. Maybe it's a good idea to do more streaming on my own channel as well, because it might pull in more viewers. I don't think it does, because I think everyone here is subscribed to Modwayne as well.
Well, what you got to do is work on the clickbaity titles. Just say.
Yeah, and use copyrighted music and
no. And stop using the yellow text. Stop using the
why?
yellow.
What was?
It looks so 1980s. Just say.
Okay, so which color do you then suggest?
No, it's also the font. I mean, I'm just saying that everything about the vibe of the font and the yellow looks old.
I am old.
Okay, that's fine. But you want to grow your audience.
Yeah. Well, I've been given a lot of tips here and there. I'm not sure which font to use then, though. But yeah, no, I can try.
Just experiment. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I have experimented a little bit. But use more pics of simply clad females too. That usually gets the thing going, though. Because no, but seriously, I mean, if you look at what's his name? I forgot his name now. Goodfella. I mean, sometimes I really have a problem listening to the dude.
No, I never.
And I'm amazed that. Well, I'm not really watching his stream, but his videos. I do watch them sometimes, but I really have a hard time listening to the dude. And yet he has lots of people.
Yeah, because he's outspoken. I mean, he does say some pretty dodgy things.
Oh, but we are outspoken too, aren't we?
No. But he has what might be classed as hateful opinions.
Really?
Oh yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't consider him hateful.
Do you listen?
But you're not
he's not listening. He's looking at the tits.
No, I've listened. I mean, some of the things he said might not be kind or whatnot, but it's
anti-Semitic, blatantly anti-Semitic statements. Just saying.
I haven't heard those, but I could have missed them. As I said, I don't follow him, or I do follow him. I don't listen to him always, so maybe I missed that one.
He has his views. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of good stuff and a few dodgy opinions.
And the thing I have to say with Anxious Aussie, I do see a decline in interaction. Well, I saw a decline in interaction on YouTube, which is quite amazing. I see an increase in interaction on BitChute, which is funny.
Sorry, excuse me a
But-
moment, folks.
I had 2 videos up on LiveLeak for less than a day, and I had so much interaction on them. It was amazing. But then again, I lost my account within a day, so that's amazing too. And nothing I uploaded on LiveLeak hasn't been uploaded on YouTube. So that was funny. Start spying some gaming reviews. What do you mean? As in me doing game reviews? I don't understand what you mean with that one, Johnny. I'm curious, don't get me wrong. It could be the censorship on YouTube. Well, I think it is. It probably has to do with it. Yeah, because those 2 videos on LiveLeak, bloody hell. Within a day, they both had more than 500 views. One 600 and one 700. And that's the last time I checked. So when I woke up, I have no idea what the numbers were then because I couldn't access it. So yeah, I was so sorry that I got axed that fast. Though I really that one day I was really like, "Ooh, this is going well. This is going well. I might grow my internet presence." But yeah, so I should do online gaming reviews myself. Is that what you suggesting?
Why?
Johnny?
Why?
Everybody does game reviews.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Yeah.
How to get the younger ones in? No.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I have considered to do a live stream on one of the games. I still haven't done it because at the same time I'm like, yeah, why the fuck?
Yeah, but people do that. People do live streaming of them playing games, and for some strange reason, other people like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can understand watching gameplay can be fun.
Can it?
Yeah, no, it can.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
It's now, for example, if you don't know if you want to buy a certain game or not,
Not.
watching. In your case, it's always not.
It is.
You're an old kid.
No,
So that's-
I am just. My brain doesn't work with games. It's as simple as that.
I'll take your word for it. But I do enjoy computer games. And sometimes when you're not sure whether you want that particular game, you go look up gameplay videos to see if the game is anything you hoped it would be, so to speak.
Oops.
And I'm not very good at satire this time at night. That is true. I think so. Not that I think my channel will. Well, I like your stuff. To be honest, Anxious.
Me too. I was listening to the vast majority of her stream about the whatever it was.
In all fairness, I can't do what you do, Anxious, because you report basically, but you're not saying much. You just record what they're doing and making them look stupid.
She does.
Yeah, no, I know, but not a lot.
Well, it depends.
I would.
Depends on the.
Oh, fair enough. But I would actually go to these people and say, "What the hell are you on about?" I'd probably say it a little bit differently, but I would. I mean, for example, that dude singing the song Anxious posted. I would go to him and say, "Okay, so you're a teacher. Okay, so what do you think our kids should be taught then? And why? And how can you justify saying this shit?"
Oh, jeez.
What?
No. Trust me, there are people you do not want to engage with.
I engage everyone. I'm a sucker for punishment.
No, there are some people.
And yeah, they do make themselves look stupid, Anxious. You're correct. Ooh, now John is yawning. It's
Yeah.
not me this time.
Yeah.
Well, I have been thinking to do the same in the Netherlands, to maybe go out and go to one of those protests and whatnot, but so far I can't be arsed. Yeah, what? It's February. It's cold outside. Nah, that's not it. But these people are too far away from me. I mean, they protest in Amsterdam or.
Yes, actually, that
Yeah.
was kind of what I was thinking when you about the inadvisability of approaching people at live events.
Stab with a corkscrew. Are they that violent?
Of course, they're violent.
Why is that? Of course.
Really?
Yeah.
You've never seen all these lefties get aggressive and violent?
No.
Okay.
But there's always something, I guess.
Here's the
And I'm
problem, right? If you're one dissenting voice amongst a crowd of them, their numbers make them bold and aggressive.
True.
It's a no-win situation. It is not worth engaging.
Well, I understand what you mean.
Now, when I went a couple of years ago, I went to it was complicated, but Sargon of Akkad was there, and he was being interviewed by someone from the BBC. And there was a group of us around him who were there sort of like in his corner. So even though there was a big event going on, which was left wing, no one who was not left wing was isolated.
Okay.
That's fine. That works because you have moral support and a few people. But if you are one person, I could see it being very intimidating, very risky, because you know what they're like. They're bullies and they will, go for you.
No, I guess I understand what you mean. Oh boy. I guess I understand what you mean. And then again, I'm not. Maybe that's my stupidity, but I'm not really scared of that.
Well, it depends on the situation. So if anxiety is filming stuff on a phone or whatever, you don't want to be having confrontations. It's not good.
No, I understand what you mean. Well, there's something to be said for that. There is something to be said for that. Well, in all fairness, I am a male, so I'm probably not aware of how dangerous it could be.
Well, again, it's all about the situation.
True. And I tend to be forward.
Oops, pardon me.
A guy almost got lynched for wearing the Australian flag last year. Well, I do have to say that I'm an advocate for gun control, as in we should control people getting more guns.
Well,
we should
she's
support
in
people getting
Australia,
more
so
guns.
that isn't the issue. Nothing to do with guns?
No. I said people should get more guns.
But she's in Australia. That's not the issue.
Yeah, because not enough people have guns in Australia. That's the issue. Trust me, society becomes a lot more friendly when everyone can be packing.
I'm sure it's true. And I'm not going to enter. Well, I don't disagree with you, but the point is that's not the point she's making.
No, that's the point I was trying to make.
Which has nothing to do with the point she was making. And so we go.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Now I'm yawning.
And anxious. Sorry, I only just noticed she clarified the corkscrew reference. Yeah, the problem with lefties, and we've seen videos, evidence, they are cowardly, will attack you when you're not looking, and run away so you cannot retaliate.
Yeah. Sucker punching from behind.
Sucker punching from behind, or hitting with a bite lock, or, you know.
It's
These
quite
people
annoying.
have no honour.
That is very true. That is very true.
So why risk it?
Oh, sorry. I guess we're all more or less dozing off, though. I haven't heard Paulo for like half an hour now. Paulo, you got something to say, mate?
Actually, and I think we're done. Really, we're really not making any sense anymore.
Oh, we've been done for ages. We just blather on for a while.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, let's call it quits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quits. You are quits.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining us, and I hope to see you all next time. Paulo, you want any famous last words?
Meeting adjourned.
Okay.
John, you got something?
Good night, and thank you for
Good
coming.
night. Well, I can go with... Oh, wait a second. I'm not controlling the stream tonight. John is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just went on automatic pilot there for a moment.
That's all right.
I was looking like, okay, so how do I end this? Fuck. I'm not running OBS.
He doesn't. I'm running it.
There you go.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. It's been a pleasure. The chat has been particularly entertaining tonight. I've really enjoyed the chat.
Yeah.
And yes, no idea what will happen next, but that's life. Good night.
See you all next time.
Bye-bye.